Hello, this is the Reading Closely video for Comp 2. In this video, I'll look briefly at the two readings that were assigned that you should have read before you watch this video, and I'll also look at the Essay 1 plan page assignment. So reading closely is something that you would have started studying in Comp 1, so we're really just expanding on those ideas that you started working on there. In Easy Writer, the chapter is called Reading and Listening Analytically, Critically, and Respectfully. And it's really important that you learn how to do that for great success on Essay 1 or greater success, but also just for success in your academic work in general, because of course the more carefully, critically, etc. we read, the more we'll understand. So we have the steps laid out in Easy Writer, and those are previewing, annotating while you read, summarizing what you read, and then analyzing what you read. So of course, previewing, as it states, is thinking about it before you read. There's lots of questions there, as well as a lot of questions for annotating, which of course is making those side comments in the margins. And I really encourage you, if you can, to print out a copy of your essay or the article that you're going to be analyzing for Essay 1, because the more that you annotate, the more you engage with it, the more thoughts will come when you get to the analyzing, which is what you're going to be writing about for Essay 1. In terms of summarizing, we're going to work more on that next week, but of course that's the idea of taking the main ideas of the work and condensing them. And then analyzing is that breaking apart that we're really focusing on for Essay 1. So pages 42 through 45 of Easy Writer give us lots of tools to help us read and listen analytically, critically, and respectfully. And if you would like to earn up to 10 points of extra credit once you've completed the Essay 1 plan page, you can answer some questions from those pages at the bottom of your plan page. And depending on the thoroughness of your answers, I will give you up to 10 points of extra credit. So moving on to the section I had you guys read from Everything's an Argument called Style and Arguments. This chapter, like a lot of chapters in Everything's an Argument, especially with Essay 1, we need to think about it from two sides. So primarily for Essay 1, we're looking at the concept of style from the idea of analyzing it. We're looking at other people's style for Essay 1. But while you're learning about it this unit, I do want you to think ahead to next unit and beyond, where you will want to use style in your own argument. So again, there's always this sort of mirror image of thinking about other people's style or organization or whatever, but then also making sure we have good style, organization, etc. So some things we're going to want to think about when we're thinking about style, especially in this essay, other people's style. When you are looking at the article, think about, where was your attention kept, why. Of course, you'll want to analyze how formal it is. This goes back to the assignment we looked at last week where there were several paragraphs and I had you guys rate how formal they were. And there are different markers that we can look for to see how formal it is. The chapter also talks about code meshing. So that's the idea of mixing in either informal language with formal language, or even different types of English, or even different languages. Colloquialisms and jargon are usually things that we want to keep out of academic writing, but of course we're not always going to be reading academic writing, so we will want to be on the lookout for those. And those are both defined in the chapter. As is connotation, which is something you really should have probably learned, or if you should have learned, you would have learned, sorry, in Comp 1, and that's the meaning behind a word, or the emotional meaning. So where are specific word choices being used to create or evoke emotions? There is a section on academic style in that unit, or in that chapter. I think it adds to what we talked about last week, but definitely go through that and sort of familiarize yourself once again with what that should look like, and this time thinking about for future essays. The last two sections of that chapter look at sentence variety and punctuation, so just kind of getting down to that nitty-gritty of writing, those smaller details that can really, put the cap on an essay. So again, those are two things where you want to think about it for this essay, looking at someone else's, but for future essays, well, and also on this one, I guess, this idea of making it interesting for our reader and holding their attention. All right, so I'm back over here in Blackboard. I'm going to go to the Week 2 After Class Materials folder, which is where you will find this video once I'm done recording it. And taking a look at the Essay 1 plan page. These are analysis questions. So it's just watch, writer, audience, text, context, help or hinder, and those are all questions that will help you analyze what you want to write about for Essay 1. So one of those articles from the Essay 1 editorials folder. So don't start this till you've decided which one you want to write on. As I mentioned in class, it would probably be a good idea to scan a lot of them or a majority of them so that you can pick one that you're interested in. I would maybe look for one that has interesting rhetorical features so you have things to write about. Sometimes it might be a good idea to pick something that you're actually disagreeing with, because that really helps us dig into something when we can really find those nooks and crannies and be critical with. And just remember, these analysis questions that are here on the plan page and in the Easy Writer chapter are helping you think about the material that you can use in Essay 1. So you're not just going to translate it directly, you're going to think about it and put the pieces together in your mind in terms of what works, what doesn't, and why. That's it for the Reading Closely video. Please let me know if you have any questions.